I didn't even recognize her anymore when she told me not to come over. Just 3 words. Don't come today. No emoji, no explanation, no love you, nothing. And that was weird because Lena used to be the type who'd spam me, come over PLs even if I was literally 5 minutes away. So I stared at my phone like it was supposed to explain itself. Then I texted back, why? Seen instantly. No reply. That's when something in my gut shifted, because Lena always replies fast, even when she's annoyed. Especially when she's annoyed. But this time, silence. So I did what I always do when something feels off. I went anyway. Yeah, not my smartest move. Her mom opened the door, which already threw me off. Lena always runs down before anyone else can even answer. Her mom blinked at me like she wasn't expecting me at all. Oh, she didn't say you were coming, she said. That line hit weird, because why would she need to say I was coming? I'm her boyfriend. Still, she stepped aside. She's upstairs. No emotion, no extra info, just upstairs. The house felt off as soon as I walked in. Quiet in a way that didn't feel normal, like someone had muted the place. Halfway up the stairs, I heard voices, Lena's, and a guy's. I stopped immediately, because Lena doesn't hang out with guys alone like that. Not like this, not in her room. I stood there for a second trying to convince myself it was nothing. Then I heard her laugh. But it wasn't her normal laugh. It was softer. Different, like she was performing it. And I swear my chest tightened right there on the stairs. I walked up faster. Her door was slightly open. And I saw her, sitting on her bed, phone in hand, on a FaceTime call, with some guy I didn't recognize. And she saw me. She saw me standing there. And she didn't look surprised. That's what messed me up the most. No shock, no panic, just a pause. Then she said into the phone, hold on, and hung up, slowly, like I was interrupting something important. I stood there like an idiot. Then I said it. Who was that? She sighed. Like I was annoying her. Just a friend. A friend. Yeah, okay. I laughed a little, but it came out wrong. Since when do you have just friends you FaceTime like that in your room? She looked at me like I was overreacting. You're being weird right now. That hit harder than it should have. Because I wasn't being weird. I was being confused. And she just didn't care. I tried again. Lena, I literally heard you laughing like that. Who is he? She rolled her eyes slightly. It's not that deep. That sentence. That one. That's when something in me started shifting. Because when people say it's not that deep, it usually means it is. I stepped back. Okay, I said. Cool, I'll just go then. And I turned to leave. But before I could reach the stairs, she said, don't do this. I stopped. Turned back. Do what? She didn't answer. Just stared at me like I was supposed to already understand. And that silence felt louder than anything she could have said. That night, I couldn't let it go. So I did something I'm not proud of. I checked her phone when she fell asleep. Yeah, I know, save the judgment. And at first, everything looked normal. Snapchats, Instagram, normal stuff. Until I found a group chat. Not her normal friends. Different names. And the first message I saw made my stomach drop. He's starting to notice changes. I froze. Read it again. He's starting to notice changes. My name wasn't even mentioned, but I knew instantly it was about me. Then another message. Keep him steady. Don't let him question too much. I sat there completely still. Because what the hell does that even mean? Keep him steady? Like I'm not a person? I scrolled further. And my name started showing up. Over and over. He reacted badly after last night. Reduce emotional intensity. He's getting attached again. Attached again? Again? My hands actually started shaking at that point. Because none of this made sense in a normal relationship context. None of it. Then I saw one message from her. Lena! Sent earlier that day. It said, he came over, he noticed too much. My chest dropped instantly. Because now it wasn't just confusing. It was coordinated. Like something was being managed. And then I heard her door open. Footsteps upstairs. Slow. Coming toward the room. I didn't even have time to process what I was reading. I locked the phone and turned it over. But it was too late. Because Lena's voice came from the hallway. Calm. Too calm. You weren't supposed to see that. I froze. And that's where everything stopped feeling like a normal relationship problem. And started feeling like I had just crossed into something I was never meant to see. I didn't move when she said it. You weren't supposed to see that. Not because I was calm. Because my brain was trying to decide what version of reality I was in. I slowly turned around. Lena was standing in the doorway. Arms crossed. Face unreadable. But her eyes weren't matching her tone. There was no panic. No shock. Just disappointment. Like I was late for something I didn't know I was part of. I held her phone up slightly. So explain it then, I said. Because I'm not crazy. I literally just read my name in a group chat talking about managing my emotions. What is that? She sighed. Not loud, just tired. Like this conversation wasn't new to her. It's not what you think, she said. And I actually laughed. Because that sentence is always the start of something worse. Then tell me what it is, I said. Because right now it looks like I'm being talked about like I'm some kind of problem to control. She stepped inside the room and closed the door behind her. Click! That sound hit different. Because now it wasn't just emotional tension. It was contained. She sat on the edge of her bed. Didn't even look at me at first. Then she said, you weren't supposed to find out like this. That made my chest tighten again. Find out what, Lena? Silence. And that silence again, it wasn't confusion. It was calculation. Like she was deciding how much of the truth I could handle without everything collapsing. Then she finally said, you've been reacting differently lately. I frowned. Differently how? She looked up at me and said, less predictable. That word. Predictable. It stuck. Because it didn't sound like relationship talk. It sounded like evaluation, like I was being studied. I shook my head. No, don't do that. Don't talk like I'm some test. Her expression changed slightly at that. Just a flicker. Then she said, you don't understand how intense you get when things feel unstable. I stepped forward instantly. So you're talking about me like I'm a problem. She stood up now. Faster than before. No, she said quickly. That's not what I mean. But it already felt like damage control. I pointed at the phone still in my hand. Then explain the messages. She hesitated. And that hesitation told me more than any answer could. Then she said, it's not a group chat about controlling you. I stared at her. Then what is it? She looked away for a second. then said quietly, "It's a support system." I blinked. A support system for who? She looked back at me and said, "For me." That hit wrong. I laughed again, but there was no humor in it anymore. "So let me get this straight," I said. "You're in a group chat where people are actively talking about me like I'm unstable, and that's a support system for you?" She didn't deny it. She just said, "You've been hard to manage emotionally lately." My stomach dropped. Hard to manage. Not hard to love. Not hard to understand. Manage. I stepped back slightly. "So what are you doing exactly?" I asked. "Fixing me? Training me? What is this?" Her voice lowered. "We're trying to keep things stable." That word again. Stable. Like I was something that could break. I shook my head slowly. "No," I said. "You're doing something else because normal people don't track their boyfriend like this." She finally snapped a little. "Normal people don't spiral like you've been spiraling either." That landed. Not because it was true, but because it felt like she'd been waiting to say it. I went quiet for a second. Then I said, "Give me one example." She didn't hesitate. 2 weeks ago, you showed up at my house at 2 a.m. because I didn't reply for 3 hours. I froze. I was worried. "And last week," she continued, "you asked me who I was texting every time my phone lit up." I didn't respond, because now it was starting to sound like she had a list, and I didn't like that. Not at all. She softened her tone slightly. "I'm not saying you're bad," she said. "I'm saying you're intense when you feel distance." That word again. Distance. Like I was always one step away from losing something. I looked at her for a long moment, then asked quietly, "So what, I'm just supposed to accept being watched and talked about like this?" She paused, and said something that made my stomach drop again. "You're not being watched. A beat. You're being supported." I shook my head immediately. "That's the same thing with nicer words." Silence again, and this time she didn't argue, which made it worse, because now I knew she understood exactly how it sounded. She walked closer, and said, "I need you to trust me." I stared at her. "You're literally in a system talking about managing my behavior, and you want me to trust you?" Her expression tightened, and for the first time she looked genuinely frustrated. "Do you want to lose me?" she asked. That question hit like a switch, because it wasn't about the system anymore. It was about fear, real fear, and I didn't answer right away, because the honest answer was complicated, and she saw that hesitation. Of course she did. And that's when she said something quieter, more personal. "This is the only way I can stay with you without everything falling apart." That line stayed in the room after she stopped talking. Heavy, uncomfortable, like it meant more than either of us wanted to admit. And in that moment, I realized the worst part wasn't that she might be hiding something. It was that she genuinely believed this was helping us, and I didn't know which part scared me more. I didn't respond right away, because what do you even say to that? "This is the only way I can stay with you." Like, that's not a solution. That's a warning. I looked at her for a long second, then I said, "So what, I'm just supposed to accept being monitored so you don't leave me?" She flinched slightly. "Don't say it like that." "How else am I supposed to say it?" I asked. "Because that's literally what it sounds like." She rubbed her face, clearly irritated now. "It's not monitoring, it's just I need advice sometimes." I held up her phone again. "Advice doesn't look like reduce emotional intensity or keep him steady. That sounds like instructions, Lena." She didn't answer immediately. "And that silence? Yeah, that silence told me everything." I exhaled slowly. "Who are these people?" I asked. She hesitated. Then said, "Just friends." I shook my head instantly. "No, not just friends. Friends don't talk like that. Who are they actually?" She looked at me like she was debating something. Then she said, "People who've been through similar situations." That didn't help. At all. "What situations?" I asked. She looked me dead in the eyes. "Dating someone who gets intense when they feel like they're losing control." That hit again. Harder this time. Because now it wasn't just about the group chat. It was about how she saw me. I let out a short laugh. "So I'm a case study now?" She frowned. "You're twisting everything." "No, I'm repeating what you're saying," I snapped. Silence. Then I asked the question I didn't want to ask. "Are you talking to that guy about me too?" Her eyes flickered for a second. Just a second. But I caught it. And that was enough. My stomach dropped. "You are." She stepped forward quickly. "It's not like that." I took a step back. "Then what is it like?" She ran her hand through her hair. "He just understands things." That sentence right there? Yeah, that's the one that starts fights. "Understands what?" I asked. She hesitated. "How to handle situations without escalating them." I stared at her. "So now he's helping you handle me too?" She didn't answer. And that silence again felt louder than anything. I laughed, but it came out sharp. "Wow. Okay, so I'm not just being talked about in a group chat. You're also going to some random guy for advice on how to deal with me?" "He's not random," she said quickly. That made it worse. "Oh, so you know him like that?" I shot back. She rolled her eyes. "You're doing exactly what I was talking about." "What, reacting?" I said. "Yeah, no way. It's almost like I just found out my girlfriend is discussing me like a project." She crossed her arms. "You're making it sound worse than it is." I stepped closer. "No, I'm finally seeing it clearly." We stood there for a second just staring at each other, and it felt like something shifted. Not a small argument, not a normal disagreement. Something deeper, like the relationship itself just changed lanes. I lowered my voice. "Let me ask you something," I said. "Be honest." She didn't respond, but she didn't look away either. "How long has this been going on?" She hesitated. And that hesitation? Yeah, that told me it wasn't recent. "A few weeks," she said finally. My chest tightened. "A few weeks?" She nodded. "Since things started getting harder." "Harder," I repeated it quietly. "Harder for who?" She didn't answer that one, which told me everything. I looked down at her phone again. Scrolled, and then I saw something that made everything worse. A contact, pinned at the top. Not a name, just an emoji. I frowned. "What is that?" She immediately reached for the phone. "Nothing, give it back." "Too fast, way too fast." I pulled it away. "No, what is this?" "It's nothing," she said again, but now she sounded nervous. And that's when I knew. It wasn't nothing. I tapped it, opened the chat. and the first message I saw made my chest drop instantly. Did he calm down after last time? I scrolled. You need to stop letting him think he has control. Distance him a little more this week. He'll adjust. I felt my hands go cold, because this wasn't just advice anymore. This was strategy, and then I saw Lena's reply, sent earlier that day. He came over unannounced. I think he's catching on. My stomach dropped. I looked up at her slowly. You're literally planning how to control me. She shook her head quickly. No, that's not... Don't lie, I cut her off. I'm reading it right now. Her voice got sharper. You're taking it out of context. I laughed again, but there was nothing funny about it. What context makes this okay? She didn't answer, because there wasn't one. I scrolled again. And then I saw something that made everything go quiet. A message from that contact, sent just a few minutes ago. If he finds out everything, you need to be ready to cut him off completely. Silence. Heavy. Uncomfortable. I read it again. Slowly. Then I looked at her. Everything? She didn't speak. Didn't move. Didn't even try to take the phone this time. And that's when I realized something way worse than everything else. There was more. Way more. And whatever everything was, I hadn't even seen it yet. She didn't deny it. That's what messed me up the most. Not even a weak excuse, not even a "you're misunderstanding." Just silence. And that silence felt like confirmation. I held the phone up between us. What is everything, Lena? She looked at it. Then at me. And I swear for a second it looked like she was about to lie. You could literally see it. Like she was picking between two versions of the truth. Then she said quietly, it's not what you think. I almost laughed again, but I stopped myself. Then say what it is, I said. Because right now it looks like you're planning to cut me off like I'm some problem you've been managing. She rubbed her arms like she suddenly felt cold. It's not that simple. That line again. Nothing is ever that simple when it's bad. I stepped closer. Then make it simple. She hesitated. Then said, I didn't want to hurt you. My chest tightened. That's not an answer. She looked at me, and now there was something different in her face. Guilt. Actual guilt. I didn't think it would get this far, she said. That hit. Hard. Because now it sounded like something had already started a while ago. Get what far? I asked quietly. She swallowed. Then finally said it. I was thinking about ending things. Silence. Everything in the room just dropped. I stared at her. Since when? She didn't answer right away. Then. A few weeks. Same timeline. Same exact timeline as the group chat. So none of this was random. This all started when she started pulling away. I laughed under my breath. So instead of just telling me, you built a whole plan around me? She flinched. It wasn't a plan like that. Then what was it? I snapped. Because it looks like you've been preparing to leave me while smiling in my face. That one landed. She looked away. Didn't argue, and that's when I knew. That's exactly what it was. I felt something in my chest shift. Not anger this time, something colder. So all those "I miss you" texts, all that stuff that was fake? Her head snapped back up. No, don't say that. Why not? I said. Because now I don't know what was real and what was just you trying to keep me steady. She stepped forward. It wasn't fake. I just didn't know how to leave without things blowing up. That sentence sat there, heavy, because it wasn't evil. It was worse. It was calculated. I shook my head slowly. So instead you stayed and started managing me behind my back. She opened her mouth, then closed it again. No answer. I looked back at the phone, scrolled a little more, and then I saw something that made my stomach twist again. Pictures saved in the chat. Screenshots of our conversations. Private ones. Arguments. Texts I sent when I was upset. Even voice notes. All sent to that contact. My chest tightened. You're sending our conversations to him? She stepped forward quickly. I needed someone to understand what I was dealing with. Dealing with? I repeated it in my head, like I was some situation, some burden. I looked at her again, and something clicked. Is he the one telling you to leave me? She didn't answer. That was enough. I let out a slow breath. Wow. Just that. Because there wasn't even a better word. She tried to step closer again. It's not like that. He just helps me see things clearly. I shook my head. No, he's helping you leave me. She went quiet. And that silence confirmed it more than anything else. I looked down at the messages again. Then I saw one that made my heart actually drop. From earlier. Before I even got there. From Lena. He's coming over. I think this might be the moment. My stomach dropped instantly. The moment? What moment? I looked up at her. What were you planning to do today? She didn't answer. But her eyes said enough. And I felt it. That cold feeling again. You were going to break up with me, I said. She swallowed. Then nodded slightly. Yeah, that was it. That was the plan. I laughed once, but it sounded empty. So I wasn't even supposed to find any of this out. I was just supposed to walk in here and get dumped like everything was normal? She looked at me. I didn't want to hurt you more than I had to. That sentence almost made me snap. More than you had to? I repeated. Lena, you've been talking about me like I'm some unstable project for weeks. Her voice cracked slightly. I didn't know how else to do it. And for a second, just a second, I saw the version of her I used to know. Confused. Overwhelmed. Not this controlled version. But it didn't last. Because I looked back at the phone. At the screenshots. At the messages. At the planning. And I realized something that made everything worse. This wasn't just her being overwhelmed. She had time. Time to think. Time to plan. Time to decide. And she chose this. I looked at her one last time. How long have you been talking to him? She hesitated. Then said, longer than a few weeks. My chest tightened again. How long, Lena? She didn't want to say it. You could see it. Then finally, since before things started getting bad, that hit different. Because that meant he was there before the problems, before the distance, before everything. And suddenly, everything started connecting in a way I didn't like. I took a step back. Did things get bad because of him? Her eyes widened slightly, and she didn't answer, which was the loudest answer she could have given. She didn't answer. Not even a no. Just that same silence. And yeah, that was enough. I took another step back, just staring at her. You're really not gonna deny that? She shook her head quickly. It's not because of him. But her voice didn't match the words. And that's what made it worse. Then why does it feel like everything started changing when he showed up? I asked. She looked frustrated now. Because I started realizing things, she said. I let out a short breath. Realizing what? She hesitated, then said it. That we weren't working. That hit, but not the way she expected. Because it didn't feel like a conclusion. It felt like something she'd been coached into saying. I tilted my head slightly. Did you realize that on your own? She frowned. What does that mean? It means, I said slowly. Did you come to that by yourself, or did he help you get there? Her jaw tightened. You're trying to blame him for everything. No, I said. I'm trying to understand why my girlfriend suddenly started treating me like a problem at the same time some random guy started helping her. He's not random, she said again. There it was. That defense. Strong, immediate, stronger than anything she'd said about me this whole time. And that told me everything I needed to know. I nodded slowly. So he matters. She didn't respond, but she didn't deny it either. I looked down at the phone again, scrolled further, and then I saw it. A message that made everything click into place. From him, a few days ago. You don't actually like him anymore, you just feel responsible for him. My chest tightened, because that sentence, that sounded familiar. Not from the chat, from her. She had said something like that to me last week. Almost word for word. I looked up at her slowly. You didn't even come up with that yourself, did you? She blinked. What are you talking about? I turned the phone toward her, showed her the message, then said, You told me this, like it was your own thought. Her face changed. Just slightly, but I saw it. And that was enough. I laughed again, but this time it sounded tired. Wow, I muttered. So he's literally putting thoughts in your head now. That's not fair, she said quickly. No, what's not fair is you repeating his words to me like they're your feelings. She stepped forward. They are my feelings. I shook my head. No, they're your justifications. That landed. She went quiet again. And I could tell she didn't like that, because it was getting too close to the truth. I pointed at the phone. So what? He tells you how to think, how to talk to me, when to distance yourself. What's next? He tells you when to leave too? She didn't answer. And that silence again said everything. I exhaled slowly. You already decided, didn't you? She looked at me. And this time, she didn't avoid it. She nodded. Small, but clear. Yeah, she already decided. Everything after that? The group chat. The messages. The support system. That was just preparation. I looked around the room for a second. Then back at her. So today was it, I said. You were gonna end it. She swallowed. Yes. I nodded slowly. Okay. Just that. Okay. And I think that's what threw her off. Because she expected something else. Anger. Begging. Something. But I was just done processing. Or maybe I was just finally seeing it clearly. She stepped closer again. I didn't want it to happen like this. I looked at her. It already did. Silence. Then she said softly, I still care about you. That almost made me laugh again. Almost. Yeah, I said. Just not enough to be honest with me. She flinched. And for the first time, she didn't have a response ready. I handed her phone back. I'm not gonna fight you on this, I said. She looked confused. What? I'm not gonna try to convince you to stay, I continued. If you've been planning this for weeks, there's nothing I can say that matters. She stared at me, like she didn't expect that answer, at all. And honestly, I didn't expect it from myself either. But something about seeing everything laid out like that, it just killed whatever hope I had left. She opened her mouth. Can we at least talk about... No, I cut her off. Not loud, just firm. We've been talking. You just weren't being real. That landed. Hard. She looked down for a second, then back at me. So that's it? I paused, looked at her, and said, That was it the moment you started treating me like something to manage instead of someone you cared about. Silence, heavy. Then I turned toward the door, and started walking. But right before I reached it, she said something that made me stop. Do you even want to know the full truth? My hand paused on the handle. Because that line meant there was still more. And after everything I just saw, I didn't even know if I wanted to hear it. But at the same time, I knew if I walked out right now, I'd never get that answer. I didn't turn around yet. I just said, What full truth? And the way she answered, yeah, that's when everything got worse. I didn't turn around right away. My hand was still on the door. And for a second, I really thought about just leaving. Because whatever she was about to say, I already knew it wasn't going to make anything better. But she said it like that. The full truth. Not my side. Not what really happened. The full truth. That means there's stuff I don't know. And I hate not knowing. So yeah, I turned around. Slow. Say it, I said. She didn't speak immediately. Just stood there, like she was building up to it. And that pause, it made everything feel heavier. Then she said, I didn't just meet him recently. My chest tightened instantly. Okay, I said slowly. Then when? She looked at me and said, Before you. Everything went quiet. Like actually quiet. I stared at her. What do you mean before me? She swallowed. I knew him before we started dating. My stomach dropped. Then why have I never heard about him? I asked. She hesitated, then said, Because we stopped talking. I laughed once. Sharp. So you just forgot to mention a guy you used to be close with? It wasn't like that, she said quickly. Then what was it like? I pressed. She looked down for a second, then back at me, and said it. We used to talk a lot. My chest tightened again. Like how? I asked. She didn't answer right away. And that hesitation? Yeah, I already knew. Like that? I said. She didn't deny it. That was enough. I nodded slowly. Okay, so you had history. She nodded. Yeah. I took a breath. Did anything actually happen between you two? She hesitated again. Too long. Way too long. No, she said. But it didn't feel clean. It felt edited, and I caught it immediately. I stared at her. Why did you hesitate? I didn't, she said quickly. Yeah, you did, I shot back. You always pause when you're trying to decide how much to say. She looked frustrated. I said no. I held her gaze. Say it again and look at me. Silence. That silence again. And then she looked away. My stomach dropped. Lena, I said quietly. Did something happen between you two? She didn't answer. Didn't even try this time, and that's when it clicked. Not just that something happened, but that it mattered enough for her to hide it. I let out a slow breath. So you had a thing with him? She nodded slightly. Yeah, there it was. Finally, the truth. Or at least part of it. I felt something in my chest just drop. Like the last piece of denial finally let go. So let me get this straight, I said. You used to talk to him, something happened, you stopped, then you got with me. She nodded again. Yes. And now, I continued, you randomly start talking to him again right when our relationship starts having problems? She didn't respond, which told me everything. I laughed quietly. Yeah, that's not a coincidence. She stepped forward. It wasn't like that at first. I looked at her. Then how was it? She ran her hand through her hair. He just reached out. Of course he did. They always do. And you just answered? I asked. She nodded. Yeah. I shook my head. Did you tell me? She didn't answer. So that's a no, I said. She looked down. I didn't think it mattered. That line actually made me mad. Not loud mad, cold mad. You didn't think it mattered that you started talking to someone you had history with while you were with me? She looked up quickly. I wasn't doing anything wrong. I laughed. Yeah, until you were. Silence. Then I asked the question I didn't want to ask. When did it turn into this? She hesitated. Then said, a few weeks ago. Same timeline again. Everything leads back to that. A few weeks? That's when she started changing. That's when the distance started. That's when the group chat started. That's when everything shifted. I nodded slowly. So that's when he started getting involved. She didn't deny it. And that was enough. I looked at her one last time. Are you talking to him right now? She hesitated. Then nodded. Yeah. My chest tightened again. Like right now, right now? Another pause. Then, yeah. I exhaled slowly, because at that point, what else is there to say? But then I remembered something. That FaceTime call. Earlier. I looked at her. Was that him? She didn't even hesitate this time. Yes. That hit harder than everything else. Because it wasn't just emotional anymore. It was active. Present. Right in front of me. I nodded slowly. Wow. Just that. Then I asked the question that actually mattered. So what is he to you now? She looked at me. And for a second I thought she might finally be honest without hesitation. And she was. She said, I don't know yet. That answer? Yeah. That one hurt the most. Because it wasn't a lie. It was worse. It meant she was figuring it out. While still being with me. And suddenly everything made sense in the worst way possible. I wasn't her choice anymore. I was her option. And she was taking her time deciding. I looked at her. And for the first time, I didn't feel confused. I didn't feel anxious. I didn't even feel angry. I just felt done. But before I could say anything, her phone buzzed. She froze. Just for a second. And I saw it. That instinct. That reflex. The one where she immediately wanted to check it. Even right now. In this moment. And I didn't have to ask who it was. I already knew. I looked at her. Go ahead, I said quietly. She didn't move. It's fine, I added. Answer him. She swallowed. It's not like that. I just nodded. Yeah, it is. Silence. Then her phone buzzed again. Longer this time. And the way she looked at it? Yeah. It told me everything I didn't need to read. Her phone buzzed again. Longer this time. And louder. Not physically louder, but it felt louder. Because now we both knew exactly who it was. She didn't move at first. Just stood there staring at it like if she ignored it, the moment wouldn't get worse. But it buzzed again. And this time she flinched. Just a little. That tiny reaction? Yeah, I caught it. I nodded slowly. Go ahead, I said again. You clearly want to. She shook her head. I'm not... Another buzz. She stopped mid-sentence. And her eyes flicked down. Instinct. Automatic. She didn't even realize she did it. I let out a quiet breath. Yeah, I said. That's what I thought. She looked back up at me quickly. It's not like that. I didn't even argue this time. I just asked, what does he want right now? She hesitated. Then, I don't know. I gave her a look. Lena. She exhaled. He's asking if everything's okay. Of course he is. Checking in, making sure his plan is still on track. I nodded. Tell him it is. She frowned. What? Tell him everything's fine, I said. Tell him I don't know anything, that I left. Whatever you've been telling him this whole time. She stared at me, confused. Why would I say that? I shrugged slightly. Because that's what you've been doing, right? That landed. Hard. She looked down again. Didn't deny it. Her phone buzzed again. And this time, she picked it up. Slow. But she picked it up. Right in front of me. No hiding it anymore. No pretending. Just choosing. I watched her thumb hover over the screen. Then she opened the message. Her face changed slightly. Not a lot, but enough. I noticed. What did he say? I asked. She didn't answer immediately. Then she said, he asked if I did it. My chest tightened. Did what? She looked at me. And for a second, she looked guilty. Break up with you. Silence. That one hit different. Because it wasn't just assumption anymore. It was confirmed. Planned. Expected. I nodded slowly. Right. Just that. Right. She looked at me carefully. Like she was trying to read how I was taking it. But honestly, I felt weirdly calm. Like everything already broke earlier. And this was just confirmation. I stepped back slightly. So answer him, I said. She frowned again. What do you want me to say? I looked at her. Tell him the truth. She swallowed. Which truth? That question? Yeah, that question said everything. I let out a quiet breath. The one you're about to choose, I said. She froze. Because now it wasn't about messages. It wasn't about the group chat. It was about the decision. Right now, in front of me. Her phone buzzed again. Another message from him. I didn't even need to see it. I could feel the pressure. I could feel the pull. And so could she. She looked at her screen. Then at me. Then back at her screen. That back and forth? Yeah, that was the real answer. I asked quietly. Are you even thinking about staying? She didn't respond right away. And that hesitation? It said enough. But then she said it out loud anyway. I don't know. There it was. Again, I nodded. Yeah, I said. You said that already. Silence. Then I asked one last question. Simple. Straight. If I walked out right now and blocked you on everything, would you chase me? She looked at me. Really looked. And for a second I saw something there. Emotion. Real emotion. But then it faded. And she said, I don't know. That was it. That was the moment. Because now it wasn't confusion anymore. It wasn't stress. It wasn't her being overwhelmed. It was clarity. She just didn't choose me. Not fully. Not enough. And I'm not about to sit around while someone decides if I'm worth it. I nodded once. Okay. Just that. Okay. I turned toward the door again. This time for real. And I started walking. No pause. No hesitation. Because there was nothing left to figure out. But right before I reached the door, she said my name. Soft. Not loud. Just enough to stop me. And yeah, I stopped. I didn't turn around yet. But I stopped. And she said, if I choose you, would you stay? My grip tightened on the door handle. Because that question was crazy. Not romantic. Not hopeful. Crazy. Because she wasn't choosing me. She was asking if I'd wait while she decided. I let out a slow breath. Then I said, you already answered that. Silence behind me. Heavy. Then I opened the door and stepped out. But as soon as I did, her phone buzzed one last time behind me, and I heard her whisper something under her breath. So quiet I almost didn't catch it. I didn't do it. I froze, just for a second, because that wasn't for me. That was for him. And that told me everything. She hadn't ended it. Not really. Not yet. And as I walked down the stairs, I realized something that hit harder than everything else combined. I wasn't losing her. She had already been gone. I kept walking. Down the stairs. Out the door. Not fast. Not dramatic. Just done. And for a second I actually thought that was it. Like the story ends there. You leave. You hurt. You move on. Simple. But right as I reached the gate, my phone buzzed. I almost didn't look. Almost. But I did. Because curiosity is stupid like that. One last message from her. No emoji. No long text. Just wait. That's it. Just wait. I stood there for a second staring at it. Because that word is dangerous in situations like this. It doesn't mean come back. It means don't leave yet. I'm not done controlling the narrative. I didn't reply. But I also didn't move. And I hate that part of me paused. A few seconds later, another message came in. This time longer. I didn't choose him. I didn't choose you either. I exhaled through my nose. Of course. Then another message. I feel like I'm being pushed into both sides. That one hit different, not because it fixed anything, but because it sounded real. Like for the first time, she wasn't performing a version of herself. She was just stuck. My thumb hovered over the screen. Then I typed, you don't get pushed into people, you choose them. Sent. Instantly read. No response. A long pause. Then, I know. That was it. No argument. No defense. Just acceptance. And somehow that made it worse. I turned my phone off for a second. Just to breathe. Because I didn't want to see what came next. But of course it buzzed again anyway. I turned it back on. New message. Not from her. From him. The contact. I hadn't even blocked it yet. The message said, you're handling this worse than expected. My stomach dropped slightly. Because that meant one thing. He was watching. Not physically. But through her. Through the situation. Through everything. I stared at the screen. Then typed back. Stay out of my relationship. Sent. Read instantly. And this time, he replied immediately. It stopped being just yours when she asked for help. I froze. Because that line was crafted. Like he wanted me to feel replaced. Like I was never the only one involved emotionally anymore. Before I could respond, another message from Lena came in. I told him I didn't end it. I frowned. Why? I whispered out loud. Then she added, I couldn't lie. That hit. Because it meant she wasn't choosing sides cleanly. She was stuck telling the truth even when it hurt both sides. Then one more message. He said you'd react like this. I stared at that. Of course he did. Of course he predicted it. That's the part that bothered me most. Not that he was involved, but that he understood her reactions better than I did at this point. My phone buzzed again. Another message from him. You leaving doesn't change her attachment patterns. I let out a short laugh. Attachment patterns. I repeated it like it was ridiculous. Then I realized something. This wasn't even about love anymore. It was analysis to him. A system. A process. Not a person. I looked back at the house. Lena was standing at the window now. Watching. Not dramatic. Not crying. Just watching. Like she didn't know if she was supposed to come after me or let me go. My phone buzzed again. Her message. What do I do now? That question sat there heavier than everything else. Because now it wasn't about me or him. It was about her decision finally landing on her shoulders. And I answered honestly. For the first time, stop letting other people decide for you. 3 dots appeared instantly. Typing, typing, typing. Then stopped. Then started again. Then stopped. And finally, I don't know how. I looked at that for a long time. Because that was the real problem. Not cheating. Not betrayal. Not even him. It was that she had outsourced every emotional decision until she forgot how to make one herself. I typed slowly. Then start by choosing what you actually want. Not what avoids guilt. Sent. No reply. Just silence. I looked back at the house one more time. She was still there. Still watching. And for the first time in all of this, it didn't feel like I was losing her to another guy. It felt like I was watching someone lose themselves while trying to keep everyone else stable. My phone buzzed one last time. From her. Final message. I think I already know what I want. I didn't respond. Because I knew what comes next in stories like this. Either she chooses herself, or she doesn't choose at all. And either way, it's not something I can decide for her anymore. I turned away from the house and walked. Not because I hated her, not because I stopped caring, but because sometimes loving someone doesn't mean staying long enough to watch them choose wrong.